0 to 60 can define a performance car, but it's the fastest 60 to 0 that's the aim of Tarok's brakes. From road cars to race cars, circuits, special stages, or the autostrada, nothing reduces speed like Tarok's brakes. Italy gave the world the art of Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Tarok's has given drivers the art of stopping. For more information and to acquire your own masterpiece, visit tarox.co.uk. Yes, it's me, Mark Stone, and this is the Backseat Driver Podcast. I'd like to welcome to the Backseat Driver Radio Show Mike Evans, chairman of the Clubmans Racing Register. Mike, welcome to the Backseat Driver Radio Show.
Thank you very much.
I mean, the question has to be, what exactly is Clubmans Racing?
Well, yeah, good question. Clubmans Racing is one of the longest running racing series in the UK. The racing started in the 1960s. 1965 was when Clubman's series was formed, and it evolved from competitors at the time who were racing the Lotus 7 cars of the day, wanting to make them go faster, so they devised a set of regulations that allowed the Lotus 7 type of car to be made wider and lower, and slick some wings on them, and go racing, and having an increase in lap time, but still made it an affordable class of racing for the average club competitor to compete in.
I mean, I think that's the one thing with all racing drivers, no matter what series you introduce, no matter how cheap you try and make the series, etc., they all want to go faster. After about one season, they all want to go faster.
Yes, indeed. And the Clubman series is a brilliant series for the average competitor to participate in. Because, as you said, now people start off racing and then they want to go faster. But it's always been run for the competitor who wants to do it on a sensible budget. And we try and control the amount of money that people can spend and make it value for money. We have sealed engines in several of the classes, or to Formula Ford specification in our CSP 3 class, or you can build your own engine for the more powerful class, which we known as CSP 1. So CSP stands for Clubman Sports Prototype, which is the type of car we are. And our premier class, the CSP 1 class, has engines that produce 200 brake horsepower.
Right. So, because, I mean, a few weeks ago I was down at Oulton Park, and it was a big Clubman's Day was there, because one of the cars, I mean, what a show regular, and a friend of mine, Michael Ewells, was there racing a Malik, and a Malik seems to be, shall we say, the prime example of a Clubman's racing car.
Yes, that's right, yes. I mean, Arthur Malik started the Malik racing business over 60 years ago, so they've actually been running longer than the Clubman series. But the Malik cars are the stalwart of the club racing series. They're very well engineered, very well put together cars, space frame chassis. It's quite unusual these days because you have the engine in front of the driver driving the rear wheels. But they're beautifully engineered cars, well balanced. They are really fun cars to drive, and this is it. Anybody who has a driver of a Clubman's car generally comes out of them with a great big grin on their face, and you just cannot believe how well they go for the power in them and the size of the car. They are really fun to drive, which is an important part of the whole Clubman's Register ethos of our series.
I mean, it says on the Clubman's Racing website, you won't go faster for the money. And I think that's the one thing. I mean, the Malik is unusual in, as you said, it's a single-seater whereby the driver sits to the rear of the car and set to one side. So the engine light is, shall we say, in the position of central at the front, with the driver slightly tucked down one side of it. It's an unusual format in its own way, is the Malik.
Yeah, that's right. And this is it. This all hems back to how it evolved from the Lotus 7, or these days its successor, the Caterham 7. I mean, that's the same type of layout, and anybody who's got a Lotus 7 or Caterham 7 knows how much fun they are to drive, and this is it. We are just a developed version of those, which we race around the track, and they are well-balanced cars. Everybody gets in them thinking, they're not going to handle very well, but as I said, they come out with great big grins on their faces. They really enjoy the whole driving experience of them.
Well, I mean, the other week at Oulton Park, Michael Ewells, who you know yourself has been a very, very successful racing driver at Le Mans and everywhere else, thoroughly enjoyed himself. I think that was one of the slight problems with the team who he'd hired the car off for the weekend, that they worried what somebody of Michael's experience would make of it all. And apart from the fact they commented to me, we've never had a driver of this stature in one of our cars before, he was chatting to me. He said, I've thoroughly enjoyed driving it. He said, it's definitely a different technique that has to be developed. He said, but I've thoroughly enjoyed driving the car.
Yes, yeah, no, that's it. And that is often the feedback you get from first-time drivers in the cars. I mean, the cars have been, as I say, around for over 50 years, 55 years. And over the time, we've had some great people actually build their own cars, obviously, as well as Mallets that build cars. There's been other competitors, other manufacturers such as Phantom and Nemesis, Vision, Gem. There's been over the 55 years, there's been a large list of competitors or cars that are out there, but also the competitors can build their own cars. And people like Patrick Head, who was involved with Williams, Hugh Chamberlain, Will Hoy, lots of people in the racing world have actually started off their racing careers as sort of drivers or actually constructors and drivers. Well, this is it, which gives us a really good pedigree to the series.
I mean, when you looked at the cars on the grid, they all, to a degree, do, shall we say, share the same silhouette. I mean, and it is that of a Malik. But, I mean, what are the different engine sizes? Because it's like anything else. You see a grid full of cars, but they are all different categories. And a lot of the time, they're categorised by their engines.
Yes, yeah, indeed. That's right. And we have, say, three classes that we have. Where CSP1 is for up to 2 litre standard engines producing up to 200 brake horsepower. You're allowed to use motorcycle engines up to 1600cc, and you can also use in them what we call our classic Clubmans cars. So the A class, these are cars that were raced in the 70s, and there is a standalone series for the classic Clubmans cars, the older cars before the late 70s, which compete, but people can still race in our series with them as well. So it gives you the option to drive in one of two series. So that's the Premier class, the CSP1, and then our second class is CSP2, which is really for the MG 1600 engine, what we know as the K series engine that was built by Rover and MG in the 1990s. Now this is a brilliant engine, still used in some Caterham cars. It's about 600cc, producing around 130 brake horsepower. But we only have nominated engine builders for this, so that they are built, they're sealed, and then people race them. And they are brilliant engines, despite what lots of people say about them. As long as they're kept with plenty of water and oil in them, they'll go on for 4 or 5 seasons between rebuilds. And a rebuild is that £1,000, £1,500. That's all. It is a really good budget series. And then we have our CSP3 car, which is for the classic Clubman's B class cars. So these are Clubman's cars again, older specification, but with the 1600cc Ford Kent engine that is used in the old former Ford series. So we have a range of classes. Obviously, each one appeals to various people. People often start off in CSP3 or CSP2, get the experience, really enjoy themselves, and then they'll move up to the CSP1, the faster series, our Premier series.
So it's like a learning curve in a way. So I mean, as I said, that friend of mine, Michael Ewells, had hired his seat, or hired his drive for the weekend. Is that how many people get into it? I mean, I conclude they'll have come up from, shall we say, like little Formula Juniors or little saloon cars. It will be a stepping stone for them, or how does Clubman tend to attract its drivers?
Yeah, we get from various different places. There's a lot of us who have raced in it for many, many years, and that's probably 50% of the group of people who've raced in it for 20 plus years and everything like that. So, and people, probably the other percentage is people who are sort of starting off new to club racing or new to racing and fancy something with slicks and wings that is really quick. So we do get youngsters coming in as well. We've had quite a few youngsters over the recent years who've and then moved on up to various other classes of racing. But it's amazing how many people, race clubmans, decide that they're going to be the next Lewis Hamilton or whatever, go off and do other races, but then return to Clubmans as the years have gone by, because they really have enjoyed it. They have fun times there. The camaraderie in the paddock is really great. People help each other in the paddock. Somebody's got a problem, everybody dives in, helps them out. But then obviously when they get back onto the track, everybody's still fierce competitors.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the other thing, I think you summed it up well there when you said you've got young drivers who go up through Clubmans, moving on to, shall we say, the Hope F1, and there is the realisation for a lot of people that they are not going to take pole position at Monza in a works Ferrari. So it's for a lot of people, racing is just the pure sheer pleasure of. I mean, I'll be quite honest, and I'm as guilty as everybody else. We all there's a shall we say a category of us that enjoys the need for speed.
Yes, indeed, and this is it. Everybody loves it. No, they really get the thrills out of it. No, it is. Going racing is hassle, and we try to make it as easy as possible to race in our series. I mean, our regulations are clear. We try and help out new competitors. Often, it's quite amazing how many you get sons and daughters of previous competitors who want to actually have a go at racing, and the parents say, oh, okay, right, I know where you're going to start or whatever. So we get people like that. We get karters coming up to it as well, because obviously karting, very competitive, but again, it's quite expensive. They come into this because they want to have a go at slicks and wings on the bigger circuits, and they've heard about Clubmans, about how much good value for money it is. So we get a range of competitors there, but everybody really does enjoy it.
I mean, the one thing you said there, you get children coming along who will follow in the footsteps of the parents. It was interesting listening to people chatting in the paddock at Oulton Park that a lot of them knew the cars. They could possibly be looking at a car they used to own, or they used to race, and they've moved, shall we say, up a category, or have done whatever. But the cars seem to have been around as long as some of the drivers, listening to some of the people out there.
Yes, indeed. No, and this is it. And the regulations have basically stayed the same for the last 50 years, 55 years. So people do develop them, and the cars of more recent times probably got a little bit bigger, and that they're more attuned to the 200 brake horsepower class, or CSP1 class. But then some of the older cars, the slightly smaller, more nimble cars, are really suited to the CSP2 or our CSP3 class. So it's horses for courses. People play around with the cars. I mean, this is it. It's not a one-make series. People can tinker with it. It's ideal for the person who likes playing around with cars, tinkering with cars. They can play with them, try out their own ideas on them. If people get stuck or whatever, they can always go back to Mallox or the other manufacturers of the car to help them out, get some guidance from them. So, but now unfortunately, I've been involved in it a long time, Clubmans, and my daughter, who's 22, she decided last year that she'd actually like to have a go at racing. She said that she'd had enough of being carted around racetracks for the last 21 years or whatever it was, and decided that she would like to have a go. And she did 2 meetings last year, and her 3rd meeting was at Oulton Park. And this is it. She enjoys it. She's got lots of friends, and there's other girls. I mean, we're very, very fortunate. We have a lot of very fast lady drivers in it. So a couple of years ago, we had of our 3 classes, a lady finished 2nd, and the other 2 ladies actually won the other 2 classes. So the CSP2 and the CSP3 class were both won by ladies. So we nearly had a clean sweep of lady drivers actually winning all the classes. Well, we had a girl over from Sweden who races over there. There's Clubman's cars over there. So there's a lot of very fast ladies out there who then they'll go on to do other forms of racing as well, but always want to come back and have a go in their favourite Clubman's cars.
And I'm not being funny, do you not think that highlights the fact that there was that dreadful women's series that they brought out that I don't know if it's going to carry on, when they keep saying there's not enough women in motor racing? But I know a lot of lady racing drivers, they actually felt it to be an insult to them to have a ladies only series, because as you've just highlighted, there's women in the Clubmans who are winning. They don't need a grid full of women. They just need, a racing driver is a racing driver. It doesn't matter what gender you are, even though there's about 37 genders these days.
Indeed, no. We have a very, very large number of fast ladies drivers, and this is it. As you say, they're just equal when they're on the track and everything like that. They're not afraid to get the muscles out and start leaning on the men or pushing them and everything like that. And it is good fun. It's great to be out there racing with them. So no, it always makes it entertaining in the paddock afterwards. The banter that goes on between the men and the women, and wives and partners who come along and chastise the men for letting women overtake them and beat them. I
was going to say that's the thing you pull back into for me at the end of the day. You think, Stroll, I've just been beaten by a woman.
Yeah, but there's no shame in it, I must admit.
Well, it's like I've always said, unless you happen to realise that the car next to you or behind you or in front, you think that's such and such a body's car, you just see a car and a driver. I mean, and it's like, and especially in an open top car, you just see a helmet. You don't see the person, and the only thing I've always said is you want to make sure you're into that corner before they are, and they want to be in that corner before you are, and it doesn't really matter anything else.
Yeah, indeed, and often they're quite light, so they're quite often quite quick off the start line into the first corner before a lot of us and that. But no, it's really good to have them actually competing alongside us. But no, we don't make it easy for them. We're handing it to them on the plate. The competition is as intense as ever once you get going. Once the red lights have gone out.
Just out of interest, is there a ladies' championship at all, or is it just they are drivers?
No. There's no ladies' championship. They're in with the rest of us and that. And a couple of ladies have won the CSP2 and CSP3 classes over recent times. So we had Pippa Tanner-Wood has won the CSP3, and Michelle Hayward has won the CSP2 class in recent times. So and they're just dead keen to still race. They're still out there, and they're both of them are sort of eyeing with trying to move up the categories to the more powerful class above them.
And the other thing about lady racing drivers I've always discovered, when you're in the paddock chatting to them, you tend to forget that they are ladies, because the conversations are, shall we say, as fierce and as raw as in all male companies a lot of the time.
Yes, that's right. No, and I think they're quite good. They're good at after a while they get really good at giving the feedback and everything like that. They can say what the car's doing and that. So it is interesting listening to the technical talk that you think only men can come out with. The women, they're giving the mechanics. This needs sorting out, that needs sorting out, or whatever. It needs to go faster. So it is quite enlightening listening to the banter that goes on.
Now, you were talking about the different cars and the different engines. It was interesting. The engines you spoke of, or shall we say, the racing classics, and for road cars, these were the engines that give minimal trouble, unless you do something stupid with them, like over-rev them or run them out of oil or something. These engines have been bulletproof in road cars for years and carry on in the world of racing.
Yes, that's it. And this is all part of our... there's a lot of thought gone into the regulations that we allow. So the CSP1 class, we allow up to 2 litre, 200 brake horsepower standard engines. Now, obviously they're tuned up, but we have a rev limit on of 8,500 RPM to keep them at a sensible level, because higher RPM normally equals more expense and more cost. And you can get the range of the normal racing type engines that use the Z-Tex, the K-Series engine, the Opel engines around. Mike Yule's had those, an Opel engine cars. I mean, they are just modified production engines with bigger valves in them generally, and better and bigger camshafts and injection systems that's been tuned up to give them 200 brake horsepower. But it keeps it all fairly standard, and they'll go on for a season or more without rebuilds. Even in the CSP1 class. And as I say, we also allow motorbike engine in there up to 600cc. So there are lots of motorbike engines around that produce a lot of power. So
yeah,
at a very, very affordable rate, and that. So this is it. Now we try and control it. The series, the regulations have been drawn up to keep it affordable been younger, we've all spent the midnight oil, burned the midnight oil, working away in the garages till all hours of the day and night. But no, it can be maintained by the normal person. There's nothing too specialist about it. The cars are well put together. Once set up, they generally don't wander very much from the settings unless you do something stupid with them, hit curbs hard or hit the barriers or something like that. But one of the beauties now, every time out the car comes back in, it's just a quick once over and away you can go again. You haven't got to put them on a flat patch and set them up or do corner weights or any of the technical stuff. Now, once it's done at the beginning of the year, as I say, unless you do something stupid, it will stay competitive throughout the year. You'll just tune the dampers, so the shock absorbers. We'll play around with those, and we have anti-roll bars on them, and plus the wings are just the angle of that. So it's just a case of playing around with these items to sort of tune them to how the driver likes to drive the car or the particular circuit that you're competing at.
Yeah. I mean, one question that has to be made, because no matter what anybody says, motor racing is not the cheapest sport you can decide to take up. What roughly does a season cost a clubman? In, shall we say, the average car is a Malik. What is the average?
Well, the average, no, as I said, like the CSP2 class with the K-Series engine, the MG K-Series engine, I'd say an engine rebuild is about every 4 or 5 years, it's about maximum £2,000. Entry fees are one of the biggest costs, and that, I mean, can be anywhere £300 to £500 for a meeting. Our meetings, we generally have like 6 meetings a year. We have a 2-day meeting, so we'll have a practice on a Saturday morning, first race on the Saturday afternoon, and then we'll have two races on the Sunday. So once you've got to the track, it's value for money because you can get plenty of races in there. Tyres, we use a Hankook radial tyre, which is a really good, durable tyre. 6 of those tyres will probably get you going for the whole season. That would be just around £1,000 for 6 tyres to do the season in. Then it's brake pads, fuels, and everything like that. So realistically, a CSP2 car is about 6,000-8,000. Now that's the do-it-yourself level and everything like that. Obviously, if you have the car run by other people, then the budgets go up and everything like that. And then the CSP1 is a little bit more expensive. It uses the tyres a bit quicker. Again, it's the same tyres. Use more fuel, brakes, and everything like that. Now, more power going faster always equals a bit more expense, I'm afraid. Just getting away from that.
Doesn't it just? Now, how exactly did Mike Evans get involved in racing? And have you raced anything else prior to Clubmans, or have you been a Clubmans racer through and through?
Well, I have been a Clubmans racing through and through. And it all started when I was actually at secondary school. The lad I sat next to in secondary school lived in the next village, and he lived opposite somebody who bought a Clubman's car in I think it was the very early 1970s, something like that. So I was intrigued as to what this was and everything like that. And I cycled down to the next village to go and see what was going on and everything like that. And I really found it very interesting. And I think it was like 15, 16-year-old or whatever. I was fascinated by it, and I started giving them a hand, went to the odd race meeting with them, and got more and more involved in it, and really it just evolved from there. And I helped for many, many years. Then I could afford to go racing myself, so I bought a share in the car that they had, and started racing myself. I wasn't very competitive to start off with, but as time went on, I learned more. As a person, I think I developed and became a more competitive person. So I started really flourished in the late 80s, in the early 90s, and I won several championships over those years, did it a lot more professionally and everything like that. And then I've just continued doing it since then. I have had a go in other cars, I've had a go in saloons, Formula Fords, nothing too powerful, unfortunately. I never had the budget to go and have a go in a Formula 1. I'm too big at 6'1", 6'2". I'm too big for a lot of the single-seater cars, the Formula 3s, Formula 2s, Formula 1s, like that, which I love to go in. I've had to go in a couple of sports cars, are just so enjoyable to drive, so much fun to drive, and and affordable. So this is it. So I've always gone back to driving the Clubman's car.
I think the other thing is as well, looking at the Mallocks and the cars like them, Clubman's Racing cars, when you're not actually taking part in one of the Clubman Series races, you can do other things. I mean, it's not unusual to see them at hill climbs.
That's right, yes. Yeah, no, you can do sprints and hill climbs in them. I mean, they're very, very successful cars, and yeah, a lot of people do that. I mean, the beauty of them, they stay competitive over the years. If circumstances change and you can't race for a year or two, you just leave them in the garage and then get them back out, give them a dusting off, and you can be back out and racing again very easily. And yeah, lots of people have learned their trade on sprints and hill climbs and then started coming onto the circuits and doing circuit racing. So they're a good all-round sports racing car.
And from the description, they're virtually a car, providing you maintain it, none too dissimilar in a roundabout way to your road car. They're a car that don't need a lot of high maintenance or a constant attention, unless you keep bending it round something. You can virtually, after you're finished on a Saturday or a Sunday, you put it back in the garage, check it over, and you more or less don't have to touch it again for a week or so.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So as I said, the engines are sealed. The gearboxes are production-derived gearboxes, so they're very, very durable. And it's this case just checking the oil levels in them. Same with the axle. It's really brake pads. Take the wheels off. Check the brake pads on them. Just turn the brake pads round or put new ones in. Check the tyres and everything like that. You can swap the tyres over side to side. Make sure that they wear evenly, and then it's just a bit of a spanner check. You soon realise what needs checking on a regular basis. There's not that much that needs doing generally, but and then give it a wash, polish, and put it away ready for the next weekend.
Now, anybody who watches the British Touring Car Championship package sees a lot of young drivers, like especially in the Ginetta Juniors. Is there a minimum age to drive in the Clubmans?
No, it's the same as any race series. So you have to have a car license. So it's 17-year-olds. Yeah. So we don't allow the 13, 14-year-olds in the Ginetta Juniors and like the junior saloon car, some of these other classes where they allow youngsters 15, 16. I think ours is 16, 17. I think. I know we had like James Clark. I'm trying to remember whether he actually. I think he raced before he actually had the road license. So it's around that. But I know he'd done a lot of karting. He'd done some junior saloon car series, and then he saw a Clubman's car and was asking about it, and he had to go in it, and he was just bitten by them straight away and everything like that. So he was a lad, and he's gone off, done Formula 4s and doing other classes of racing these days. So it's good there. Most of the drivers are very sensible. They race hard but fair. They're not going to put people into the barriers and that. But you still have to learn the driving skills. I mean, a lot of the guys who were in our series are in the 60s and 70s, and they've been racing for many years, and they know how to make a car very wide on the track to make it really difficult to pass. So some of the people are really, really good drivers, and if you're behind them, you have to work really, really hard to get past them.
And the other thing is, given the shall we say, the simplicity of the cars, there's no fancy driver's aids on these cars. You've got to be able to drive them. So there will be an ideal racing car to, shall we say, learn the trade and actually learn how to drive a car that requires driving. Shall we say, driver stability control is your right foot and your what's between your ear holes.
Yeah, indeed. No, that's right. And they do speak to you very well when you're going around. The feedback is really good. And as I say, you get used to tuning the dampers and the roll bars and the wing a bit. I mean, obviously, if it's wet, we soften the car off. So you'll maybe disconnect the roll bars, switch the dampers right off, put the wing up a little bit more brake balance to the rear. you have adjustable brake balance. But it comes with experience, and it's like, you know, when my daughter drives it, I ask her what the car's doing and everything like that. You know, I'll know straight away what to change on the car to give a little bit more feedback to her and everything like that. So
yeah.
Now, as you say, you do learn the art of driving. You do learn it driving a Clubman's car, because now they are a lovely car to drive, but you can still tune them. You get them talking back to you and everything like that. So, and it always stands people in good stead for the future careers if they wish to pursue different classes of racing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, just to go back to Michael Ewells, how many people like Michael do you get racing, like coming into Clubman's? I mean, Michael's doing it. It's like he said to me, he said, I'm too old to do hotels now.
Yeah, and this is it. I mean, we do get a lot of people who've done a lot of different race series and everything like that, and come into it, and and it's amazing how often people come in, have a taste of it, and oh yeah, that's it, I'm hooked. I want to stay racing with you and everything like that. So, and as I say, a lot of our guys are in the 60s and 70s. I mean, it is a gentleman's series, but with all the ladies and all the youngsters in it and everything like that. So it's good because people, now the comfortable cars to drive, they're not cooped up. As you get on in age and everything like that, you put on a bit of a belly or whatever. But they are designed to be to fit all sizes. I say I'm over 6 foot. I fit in them quite easily. Whereas a lot of other cars, there's no chance for me getting in them and everything like that. So they're nice cars to drive.
I mean, somebody commented on me a few weeks ago. A friend of mine who owns a Formula Junior, a little Envoy, he said, sit in it. I said, I'll promise you. I said, I'll get in it. I said, you'll have to help me out of it. And they laughed, and after they got the photographs they wanted, I said, right, seriously, you will have to help me out of the thing. I said, I am such a physical wreck these days. I said, I cannot get back out of single-seaters. So, I mean, it's like you said, that's the one thing. I was looking at them, I thought, well, it's a nice, spacious cockpit. You can get in and out of that, all right.
Yes, yeah, and no, there's plenty of room for the upper body. Obviously, you have the gear lever where you would normally have it in our cars, in our road cars and everything like that. So no, you have to sort of push down and slide your legs back up, and there. We have detachable steering wheels on, so you take the wheel off. That gives a little bit more space, but you can get out of it. And obviously, the requirements that you can get out in a sensible time if the event of being an accident or everything like that. You soon get out of the cars.
I must confess, I once got out of a 911 that had gone up in flames, and I'll tell you what it is, you'd be stunned how quickly you can get out of them.
Yeah, indeed. No, that's very, very true.
So if somebody wants to have a go in the first instance, providing they've got the racing licence, I conclude if they contact somebody like yourself, I mean, there's the website, all the W's, clubmans.org.uk.
That's
I mean, in the first instance, they'll be able to speak to one of the teams and hire a car and have a go to see if they like it.
Yes, that's right, yes. So, as you say, at clubmans.org.uk there, or on the Facebook there, look on for Clubmans, and we have people like Malix, another people who actually run cars as well. Obviously, Mike Yules was driving one of Dave Beecroft's cars. There's Phantom Racing and Vision Racing. There's other teams that all run cars for people there. And no, it is they're quite one of the quirky things about them. When they're in a sports car, racing car, you can actually compete on 10 track days in them and everything like that. You haven't got to go to a test at a racetrack, or when it's a open testing, general testing, you can actually do a track day in it. We just have to make sure that the silencing is to the limits there. But this is it. My daughter, the first time she had to go, and it was at a track day and everything like that, which is really good because obviously there people put on the straights. You have to be careful through the corners. You can't overtake, but it gives people the first opportunity to actually have a go in the car.
So I mean that's an ideal thing. So if they contact. If they go onto the website, etc., then they'll be able to get all the details, I conclude, and sort themselves out.
Yes, yeah, that's right. And there's contact details on there for myself and other people, so you'll be able to follow up there. Anybody who's interested can soon contact us, and we can put them in touch with the people who them out and actually give them a run in the car.
Now, just out of interest, like every other race series, I mean, 2020 has been something of a disaster. How is this year's series going?
Yeah, so we've only had our first round was at Old Park at the end of July when I met you. We were one of the first series back on the circuit. So as I said, we have six meetings a year, and they're either 1 day or 2 day meetings. So we'll either have 2 races or 3 races at each one. So the series was supposed to start in mid-April at Donington Park, and then do Snetterton and other circuits. But for this year, we working with MSB Racing. So the Clubmans Register, which is our organisation and our group, and it's the governing body of the Clubmans Race Series. We buy track time up from MSB Racing and other race promoters. So our first one was Oldham Park, as I say, the end of July. Our next meeting is at Croft the first weekend in September. Then we're down at Brands Hatch in the middle of September, and our final round is at Donington in late October. So we've still got 4 meetings there. So we've done quite well, I think, compared to a lot of series. Obviously, there's a couple of people who are not actually out with us this year because of their the vulnerability to the COVID virus and everything like that. So our numbers are down slightly, but we had 23 cars at Alton, and I think we're 28, which is nearly a full grid at Brands Hatch. So it's been really, really good. We've survived everything that's gone on really well.
And you were saying, like, with the number of races per meeting, you'll have approximately 12 races still this season, then, won't you?
Yes, that's right, which is good. Yeah, I mean that's a good number. I mean, this is it. People say, do you want to have 2 races or 3 races over a weekend? And I was a bit sceptical when we first moved to this format several years ago. But to be honest with you, everybody loves it because time is precious and time with the family is important. And if you just do 6 race weekends, you can still get a lot of races in. You can getting on 15, 18 races on throughout the year in those 6 weekends, and then you've still got time to spend with the family.
And the thing is, for any racing driver, what's the saying? When you're not racing, you're just hanging about, type of thing.
Yeah, indeed. That's very, very true. Or watch it on TV, watch the exports, how they're doing it, how you should be doing it, or whatever. But I mean, as long as people don't watch too much touring car racing, I mean, we do race fair and everything like that, but there's not the wheel banging and barging into each other and goes on with some of the more so-called professional race series and that. But the racing is still very, very hard and firm. But the actual car-to-car contact is not really allowed by the MS Motorsport UK, the overall motorsports governing body and everything like that. So you do get the odd youngsters or people come into any race series and try it on, but they soon have their wings clipped and told how to behave. Well,
the other thing is as well, when you're driving at Clubman's level, if you bump it and bend it, it's your wallet that suffers, isn't it?
Yeah. That's right. And I must admit, with the warm weather we've had over the last few weeks, that's one of the things I've been doing. I have sort of 2 sets of bodywork and 2 noses and everything for the car. And last year, my daughter's first race, I put all the old bodywork on it, and she came back from the first round at Donington without a scratch on it. I went down to Thruxton and got involved in a start line crash, and somebody actually went over the top of me. I got hit by 5 other cars in this start line crash, which was very rare, very unfortunate. But I've been repairing the bodywork from last year. But the beauty of it was that I actually got the car back together with a lot of help from people in the paddock. I went on and raced the following day again, a 2-day meeting. We worked hard at it over the Saturday nights, early hours of the Sunday morning, but got the car going again and got back out on the track, and it had a good Sunday.
And that's what Clubman Racing's all about, isn't it? Getting out there, getting it done and helping one another.
Yes, indeed, and this is it. It's amazing how people around the paddock, they haven't got much work to do on their cars, and somebody has a problem, they soon get stuck in. There are mechanics, with the race teams, the semi-professional race teams teams there and other people who run cars. They have all the gear, and if someone's stuck, then they'll come and give them a hand welding or whatever, and people carry lots of spares, so I didn't need to borrow a steering rack and a wing, and people came over with them and which one was the best one to go on the car and everything like that. No, it was really, it was really a fine example of how that people help out each other.
Mike Evans, it's been a pleasure chatting to you. I hope people are inspired to actually have a go, or even just go and look, because it's good entertaining racing to watch. So, can I thank you for coming on the show? It's been fun. It's been great chatting to you.
Well, thank you very much. It's been very enjoyable. I've enlightened people onto the world of Clubman's Racing, and maybe see you at one of the circuits soon. And happy, I'm always happy to chat to people and tell them what it's about, and show them around the car and everything like that. So look forward to seeing your listeners out at the track.
And the other thing is as well, talking about the engines, you won't look at that little old Rover with its 1600 engine in the same again. You'll be thinking, I wonder if I can drop that in a Mallet chassis.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, your granny's car could get a whole new lease of life if she's not careful.
Yes.
But once again, Mike, thanks very much for joining me on the Backseat Driver Radio Show.
Right, pleasure. Thank you very much.
Cheers, thanks.
Rarely beaten on price, never beaten on service. Whether it's cars, bikes or commercials, Hoddy Tyres are the best in the business. And when it comes to tyre expertise and advice to supplying the correct tyres for your vehicle's specific requirements, nobody comes close to David Lakin and the Hoddy Tyres team. So give them a call on 01200 613 192 or visit the website at hoddytyres.co.uk.